This week's discussion, I'm doing option one, which essentially we're going to define the Holocaust in our own words, along with using um, two of the C's of historical thinking. I'm going to use causality and consequence, and then what were some of the long-term implications of the Holocaust. I think simply put, the Holocaust was a genocide or mass murder um, of approximately 11 to 12 million people, with most of about half probably being Jewish. Uh, and this was largely due to Hitler's influence on Germany, as well as its allies under the strong totalitarian style government. It wasn't just Jewish people who were killed or discriminated during this. It was Polish, Ukraine, Russian, as well as disabled people, um, political opponents. For some causality, Hitler believed that Jewish people were essentially unclean or an inferior race, um, and also that they may have played a part in the loss of World War II or World War One. Um, Anyone not 100% for Hitler and Nazi Germany was essentially 100% against it in Hitler's eyes. So communists and socialists were also killed. The Holocaust began around 1933 and started with the discrimination and judgment of Jewish people. Um, a big portion of this came from the Nuremberg laws. We then saw around 1939 forced labor, forcing Jewish people into small communities and ghettos. And then in 1941, we see the actual, like the severe movement into concentration camps, the murder, um, working people to death, unfit living conditions. Um, and that was where we saw a lot of the deaths from. Uh, for some of the consequences, there were short and long-term consequences of the Holocaust. Some short-term, where obviously there was mass casualties, um, and it was largely due to racial influence. Um, Tons of people were displaced, homeless. They were missing family members, weren't sure if they were alive, if they had passed. Uh, so a lot of uncertainty during this time. And then also short term, after the war was the Nuremberg trials, um, where they put some of Hitler's generals and some of his closest uh, members of the government on trial for their actions. Some of the long term effects, we see Roosevelt's four freedoms: the freedom of speech, freedom of worship, freedom from want, and freedom from fear. We see that the United Nations was founded after World War II. The GI Bill was signed into effect. There was an extreme growth of the Jewish population in America. And then I think most importantly was probably this idea of never again. And this wasn't just in the US, this was across the world, I think, but we didn't want the world or anybody to suffer these atrocities again.